What is up, guys? You're listening to the MFCEO Project. I'm Andy. I'm your host, and I am the motherfucking CEO. Guys, today is Thursday Thunder. Thursday Thunder. I think that's the first time I messed that up in a long time. Anyway, you know what fucking day it is, and we're just going to keep going. Hey, look, I've got something that's on my mind that I got to fucking talk about today, all right? I got a comment yesterday that from someone basically chastising me for talking about fucking money, all right? Let me break this shit down to you motherfuckers in case you just don't understand it yet. Money is a great fucking thing, all right? Talking about money is not taboo, okay? Both of those thoughts, people who don't talk about money and people who think money is a bad thing, come from people who, A, have never had any money, B, will never have any money. And the funny thing is about these fuckers is that if you ask the motherfucker, hey, I got an extra $500, do you want it? Every single one of them will fucking take it, okay? So this is something that is very important. I'm not just going to rant on it. I want you to understand it because I have to talk to my guys a lot of times about this subject because in society, we are taught that money is not a great thing in a lot of ways. A lot of people who don't make a lot of money or who don't have a lot of money or who've never been around money, they say negative things about money. They have negative beliefs about money. They instill those beliefs in our people. Okay, every school is run by teachers who don't make a lot of money, and they tell kids money isn't everything. Money's not that important. Money doesn't matter. And you know what? That just ain't fucking true. Okay, so we have these people who grow up their entire lives hearing that money is a bad thing. And because they hold that belief in their heart, no matter how much they say they want to make money, and I'm speaking to you guys because you guys listen to this podcast probably because you want to make more fucking money, okay? Now, you might say, I want to make more money. You might say, I want to be wealthy. You might say, I want to be a millionaire or a billionaire. You might say those things. But if in your heart you believe, because every dumb motherfucker that you've been around your entire life has told you that money is a bad thing, you will never have money. You have got to change your beliefs about money. And that's what I want to talk about today. You know, so first off, guys, just like I said, anytime somebody criticizes you and says some dumb shit like, oh, you're too greedy, you're too focused on money, you're too this, you're too that, money doesn't matter to me, like there's some kind of fucking noble person, ask them if they like an extra $500. I guarantee you they'll fucking say, fuck yeah, okay? And this is a case of people's words and people's actions and what they try to put off and who they try to pretend to be, not coinciding with who they really are in their heart, all right? So be aware of that. When people make negative remarks to you for being ambitious, being hungry, trying to kick ass, trying to do better for yourself, trying to create a better future for yourself and your family, and be an inspiration to everybody around you by being successful, and they say these things to you, remember, these people are lying to you. They are not telling you the truth, all right? Now, let me back this up with a couple points and preface this discussion with some ideas, okay? Guys, it's not about being money focused. It's not about like saying, oh, money is the most important thing. We all hear that saying, the money is the root of all evil. And the truth is that's not even the real quote. And the truth of money is that it's not morally wrong or morally right. It's morally neutral. It can be used for great things. It can be used for destructive things, okay? It's how you use them. It's just like a spoon or a fork, all right? A fork doesn't make somebody fucking fat. It's how you use a motherfucker, all right? Money's the same way. And anybody who says different doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, all right? Money, especially to young people, is a huge driving motivator depending on where you are in life. Early on, material things and having a lot of money and having cool shit and being the guy that has all this cool stuff, that could be very motivating. Wanting to fly around in a private jet or drive an exotic car, those things can be very, very motivating. And there's nothing wrong with having material goals. But here's the thing you have to understand, guys, is somewhere along the line, once you find a little bit of money and once you find a little bit of cash flow coming in, once you have one or two of those little rewards, those things are not going to matter to you like they once did. And so you have to find real purpose for why you're trying to be successful if you want it to last. That's why you never see these get-rich-quick dudes who have made a lot of money and they're driving flashy shit, and that's all their purpose is to have more money. You don't see them doing anything. They're not creating anything. They lose the idea of what value they created to make their money in the first place. They get lost, they get depressed, and then you read about them on the fucking internet somehow, because they lost it or they kill themselves or they're, that's the idea where people have, people who have money are miserable. Bullshit. Only some of the people who have money are miserable. Okay. Another thing is, guys, is that we live in a society now that is value driven, okay? And where it used to be, whenever from 1940 to probably the year 2000 there used to be a way for companies to scam people and make money, okay? So think about this. Your grandparents and your parents grew up in an era where the companies that could basically say anything they wanted via radio, TV, and print, they could lie, they could make false promises, they could say anything they want, and they could sell things. And these companies would sell things. There was no recourse on the consumer like there is today, where you have social media, Craigslist, Angie's List, Amazon reviews. The word of mouth took a long time to travel. So you had situations where, companies could do things that were morally incorrect or morally wrong, and they could continue to profit. And that's where a lot of this idea of big business taking advantage of the little guy and, money being evil and this and that comes from our previous generations. Now, you have to realize that today's society is so much different than that, because every single one of us has a voice. We all have a Facebook. We all have an Instagram. We all have this way to communicate our voice. We have ways to review products. We have ways to talk about products and spread word of mouth instantly instead of it taking years. And what that means, guys, is that you can no longer scam people into getting them to buy your product. Otherwise, your company would be dead in the water right away. All right. I hope this makes sense for you, what I'm explaining, because what I'm getting to, guys, is that in today's world, whereas your parents or your grandparents might have felt that money was indicative of doing morally wrong things, in today's world, the amount of money you make is actually a representation of the amount of actual value you provide. The right thing, of the doing the right thing, the being a reputable company, the being somebody who provides real values, provides real solutions, provides real services that help people, okay? And if you're not making money, you're not doing those things. So what's that say about your moral standing in society, okay? The more money you make right now, the better job you're doing at solving problems. The more money you make right now, the more people you're helping. The more money you make right now, the more value you're providing your community and people like that, okay? Those are all real concrete points about the way money really is now, and you guys have to realize that there's not a limited supply of money to be made. A lot of people have that hang up too. They think there's a limited amount. There's an unlimited amount. We have so many new ways as entrepreneurs to make money that, virtually anyone. And even if you work in a company, if you're thinking about it as your own business, you guys should all be thinking about what you are as yourself. And what you really are is you work for yourself, no matter where you work, okay? You don't work for the company you work for yourself. And what that means is that you have to go in, you have to do the personal development, you have to increase your skills, you have to increase your ability to provide value, and and by doing those things, you increase your value, which increases the amount of money that you get fucking paid. Okay? I'm just saying, you guys I get these hangups from questions from young entrepreneurs all the time that talk about, you know, oh, I don't know how I feel about making money. Well, then you aren't going to fucking make any. Making money is a great thing, guys. And if you're capable of making money and you're not, you are actually doing something that's immoral. And let me explain this to you. You have a number of people that work that look up to you in your life, and you may not think so, but you can influence literally hundreds of thousands of people just through your success and your path. Okay? And I'm not saying that path is dictated by how much money you make. It's dictated by how much potential you fulfill for yourself. So, and what I mean by that is, like, if you have a guy who's fulfilling his potential and he's making 50 grand a year, then he's way more successful than the guy who's making 5 million a year, who's working, you know, 1/10 of his ability. All right. So it's not about the amount of money. It's about the potential you're fulfilling. But what that parlays into, guys, is the example that you're setting for the next generation. Okay. You have to understand that what you do and what you earn and how you live and all the other things are going to affect the way that other people live their lives. Okay, they're going to affect the way maybe your kids live. They're going to affect the way maybe their future kids live. And like, if you're 20 years old and you don't have any fucking kids, you should be thinking right now about how you're going to be when you have kids. That should put some fire on your ass. Most people wait until they have kids and they're like, oh shit, that's too late, motherfucker. You need to be thinking about it now. All right? The point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that money is an awesome thing, all right? And anybody who says that it's not, doesn't have any, will never have any. And if you're the kind of person who really wants to make money, but you secretly believe that it's not the right thing, or there's something wrong with it, or there's something, immoral about it, you're never going to make it. So you have to figure out and understand that your job, and this is the way that I think it's easiest for people to disconnect that guilt feeling of like, of saying, I want to make money. Okay. Your job in your life is to leave a legacy. Do you want to leave a legacy of success, of fulfillment, of fucking progression, of improvement, of hard work, of inspiration? Or do you want to leave a legacy of a regular dude who does regular shit, who teaches his kids and all that shit just to be another cog in the fucking machine? Because those are your only two options. And if you think about what your legacy is going to be, you know, it becomes very clear, especially, I mean, at least for me, which path is the morally correct one. You know, and guys, on top of that, let's talk about this. You know, people like to throw this shit out too. Well, you know, money's not important to me, but I like to go make sandwiches at the homeless shelter to give my time. Well, hey, guess what? What's more fucking valuable? You giving your time a couple times a year to make some fucking sandwiches at the homeless shelter, or you being so wealthy that you could put up 10 new homeless shelters? What's going to fucking make a bigger difference? And you know what? You could still go give your time anytime you want at any given occasion, Christmas, Thanksgiving, the time that, you know, the people like to post it on the internet and talk about how giving they are, as opposed to just doing it all year. Guess what? If you had your own shelters, you could go all year. You could be a great person all the time. You give all the fucking time you want because you can afford to do whatever the fuck you want with your time. Okay? Now, I want to close this podcast with a story. And this is, I don't go to actual church. And you know why I don't go to actual church? Because of shit just like what I'm about to tell you. All right? The last time I was in an actual church, the preacher, he was Lutheran, pastor, he went on and on and on about how rich people have as much chance of getting into heaven as a camel fitting through the head of a needle, which is a story they tell in the Bible. Well, the Bible also says lots of other things, like if you're lazy, don't expect a harvest. It talks about the importance of, you know, earning and giving back and doing all these things. And I had a conversation with someone about this, and then somehow he had gone to his priest and told him the story that I share with him. Okay. And this Lutheran pastor went on and on and on for 45 minutes about how money's evil, money's bad. And literally in the next breath, he was talking about how awesome his brother was. And his brother was a gazillionaire, if that tells you anything. But Anyhow, I'm sitting in the front pew. I'm wearing a nice suit that was very expensive, and I drove to fucking church in my Rolls Royce. And I'm sitting here listening to this dude talking about how if you have any kind of money in your life, you're going to basically go to hell. And then the funny thing is the next thing that happens is, what do? They pass the little fucking plates around for you to give money. Okay, so let me understand this. You're not supposed to have any fucking money, but by the way, give us money. I don't understand. I don't understand there. And like a lot of people might sit there and nod their fucking heads and agree with that shit, but I just don't, because I'm not a fucking sheep. All right. Money makes the world go round, whether you fucking want to admit it or not. All right. And you can do good things or you can do bad things with it. But I told this story to my friend who went and talked to his priest about it. And his priest has served in the Catholic ministry for 50 years. He was a friend of Stan Musial, big famous Cardinal Hall of Famer here in St. Louis, legend. And this is the quotes. These are some of the quotes that the preacher said, or the priest said, about money. Over 50 years experience, my experience is that the virtues and the vices are equally distributed amongst the social classes. I have known extremely generous, holy millionaires that were virtuous good, and extremely greedy, self-centered poor people who are virtuous bad. I get paid the same regardless of the income of my parishioners, but I would love all of them to be billionaires, and I would hope that they would use their resources for good. Okay? That's coming from a dude who's lived in the church. All right. So when you're out trying to be ambitious and you're trying to be, a hustler or whatever the fuck you guys call yourselves, and you got your cousin or your aunt or your mom or your fucking dad or whoever who says, oh, dude, all you care about is money. All you think about is money is bad. You don't need it. You need to worry about other shit than money. Dude, that's coming from people that don't fucking have any. Realize that. You're never going to find somebody who made a lot of fucking money that says anything like that. Because I can tell you right now, when you think about all the good things in the world, when you think about, like, and this is what these motherfuckers like to throw up. Well, I like to go volunteer my time in Africa. Well, who the fuck do you think pays for those trips? People with fucking money. Well, I like to go, volunteer my time on missions. Well, who the fuck do you think pays for those trips? People who donated money. Well, I like to help the homeless. I'm going to go hand out this or that. Well, who pays for the shit that you handed out? People with money. Okay? Your obligation is to make a lot of fucking money. You have an obligation to your fucking family. And if you don't have a family yet, you have an obligation to your future family to be successful, to work hard, to fulfill your potential, and to make a lot of money. Because guess what? Whatever you do is what they're going to do. And do you want your kids to grow up struggling and looking at, as an example of mediocrity? Or do you want your kids to grow up and understand that if they put in effort, they put in time, they put in work, that they're going to be rewarded, and that they should actually take the money responsibly and go do good things? Okay? I'm sick and tired of the fucking money conversation. I'm sick and tired of the loser fucking motherfuckers out there that boo-hoo and fucking cry and try to point the finger about money morality. There's nothing more immoral than not fulfilling the potential that you have been gifted with this life on this earth. Nothing. If you believe in God and you talk about God the creator, do you think God is happier with somebody who sits on their fucking ass, watches the clock, collects a bullshit paycheck? Or do you think he's happier with the guy who goes out, creates a fucking company, feeds literally thousands of fucking people, and he happens to make a lot of money himself, which he donates a lot of it to help other people? Who do you think he's happier with? Who's fulfilling more potential? If that were your kids, who would you be more proud of? Stop listening to dumb motherfuckers about money. Stop listening. If people come on your page and say shit when you say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm trying to go hustle, and they say all you care about is money, block the motherfucker. You don't need that shit in your life. It's an invalid argument. It's an argument made by people who don't fucking know any better and who are basically justifying their own place in life, which is a place of lack. And if you could look at somebody and say, I got $1,000 in my hand, and they'll say, yeah, I'll take it, then fuck them. I'm so fucking tired of this discussion. I'm so tired of people pointing the finger and saying money is bad. You know what, motherfucker? I want all the money. All of it. You know why? Because I know I can do great shit with it. And you should feel the same about yourself. There should be no fucking hesitation in your heart. There should be no guilt. There should be no, oh, I don't know if I want to make a lot of money, or I feel weird making a lot of money. Motherfucker, if you have the money, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. So what difference does it make if you have it and you get to choose? Wouldn't you want it in a responsible person's hands like yours that's going to do good shit with it? You know, in the past year, Chris and I we fucking built our high school, a baseball field, a football field, a fucking weight room, okay? We've given, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to other charities. We wouldn't be able to do that if we were fucking broke. We wouldn't be able to provide all the jobs here at our business if we didn't fucking work hard, or if we took the idea of, oh, money's not that important. It's not about us. It's not about driving a fucking Lamborghini or driving a fucking nice car or going on nice trips. That's what broke people tell you what it's about. It's about providing real value to this fucking earth and your obligation to fulfill that. So don't ever come at me with some bullshit about money. I'll block your ass in 1 fucking second. I don't have time for that shit. Money's a great thing. I think so. Mark Cuban says so, and you should fucking think so.